Next is Dave. Dave Bissett. He is going to profile, I understand, his experience as a tutor with Vettel in the design and delivery of Branching Out, a workplace literacy and numeracy program at Thames Timber. Dave.
Well, my involvement with workplace literacy numeracy training dates back to 2010, 2011 with the Branching Out program at Thames Timber. And it's been interesting to revisit that very busy time in my life as I was preparing for today's session. In retrospect, Branching Out worked as a program. It was popular with trainees, and the various stakeholders were satisfied with the results. And when I ask myself why that was the case, 4 key elements emerge. Now, I've labelled these collaboration, enculturation, integration, and organisation, and I apologise for all the syllables. I'll start with collaboration, because Branching Out was true teamwork. Different people, complementary skill sets. There were 4 of us. Phil was the evangelist. He spread the word, he gathered the people, the followers. As Thames Timber's plant manager, Phil was firmly committed to the program. He believed that the training could benefit individual employees' lives and, through that would benefit the company. Marion was our problem solver. She worked for VTEL, the training provider, as contract liaison, contract supervisor. Marion was an experienced adult tutor and a capable administrator. Her systems and behind-the-scenes work made it possible for me to single-mindedly focus on my job as tutor. Andrea gave us perspective. As director of VTEL, she knew the training landscape and she knew the people. Andrea was experienced in working with the target group and timely in her support of frontline staff. My job as tutor was to create and deliver a program which was literacy numeracy at heart, but with a few chameleon genes sprinkled about so it could blend in with the workplace culture. And looking back, I think the close working relationship between Phil and myself was a strength in Branching Out. Our manufacturer and educator perspectives fused together at many points. We achieved some kind of synthesis there. Second key element I've called enculturation. One of my conditions for taking on the program was that I should spend a few weeks before the start date becoming totally immersed in the Thames Timber operation, working shifts, experiencing firsthand the early morning, late night life of production line workers. In time, I learnt the plant layout and the basic production process from logs through to finished product. Understanding the specialised vocabulary and all the colloquialisms took time, but was very important. So too, getting to know key personnel, because this made things easier as the program unfolded. I think this process of industry enculturation, it gave me a certain credibility in the organisation, and it enabled me to understand conversations about production topics. And importantly, it made it possible to effectively contextualise the learning activities I was beginning to develop. Which brings me to the third key element I've called integration, although it's better known as embedding these days. It would be good, 2 minutes? It would be good to have a simple formula for the process, but in truth, embedding strands of literacy and numeracy into Branching Out was often serendipitous. Ideas would bubble to the surface at inappropriate and inconvenient times, and often did. A story to illustrate. During my enculturation phase, I'd spent a couple of days over in the mill office reading through 3 years' worth of accident incident forms, trying to get some insight into the writing and language abilities of the target group. Responses were typically ambiguous, limited vocabulary, unclear structure, and the person who had the job of encoding information from these forms often had serious difficulties. Later on, trainees could accept the need for upskilling. They were introduced to a standardised method of reporting with a little bit of humour, and we practiced this with simulation activities, vocab building games, and various role-play interviews. Each group contributed ideas to a vocabulary poster which was placed in the smoko rooms along with the box of blank accident incident forms. On another occasion, we were working on listening skills. I overheard someone trying to explain a troublesome workplace issue to someone from another work site, and realised that because these training groups were made up of people from different parts of the plant, there were opportunities here to practice active listening techniques in ways which were perhaps less contrived. And this led to an exercise to build up a fishbone or cause and effect diagram where one person is questioned about a troublesome workplace issue by 3 others, all from different departments. And the questioners are required to use open questions, encouragement, paraphrasing, reflecting back, encouraging, and so on. And several of these diagrams resulted in remedial actions being taken by the company, and in 1 or 2 cases, they actually saved a bit of money. Finally, those 3D graphs. One of the staff perks was free firewood, most sought after type, these chunky offcuts left over from pallet building. And I was filling the boot one day and the idea came to mind, well, you know, these would actually make a great hands-on graphing activity for the training room. And it evolved into that activity some of you have seen on a video clip, showing people how log prices and exchange rate fluctuations impact on company profit margins, and led to reinforcement in other areas. So at the end of the day, I think if I ever did another program like this, I would certainly be looking at those 4 elements as being an essential part of the mix. I haven't mentioned organisation, but I think that goes without saying. Thank you.